Welcome to your very first session of your Kickstart program. I'm so excited and so grateful to have you here, and I just want to honor your time, so I will be digging right in. Just a little reminder is that I do recommend you watch these videos within 24 hours, as most of the information that is shared in these coaching sessions are meant to help you be successful throughout the week. So a big key component to success in this program is being prepared, and being prepared is one of the pieces is watching these coaching sessions. So please make sure you block off some time in your calendar. They'll probably be 20 to 30 minutes, so block off a chunk of 30 minutes to play it safe, and make sure that time is by yourself. You're alone. You can really focus on this and do something for yourself. Just remind yourself you invested in this program for a reason. You invested in yourself for a reason. So don't give up on yourself before you even begin. So again, set that time in that calendar and get watching of this coaching session. So what I love to do is start each coaching session with sharing something that's going well. And the reason that I love to begin with something that's going well is because it subtly rewires our brain and helps us to start seeing more positive events in our lives, since the negative ones tend to steal the stage most often. It's just like when you practice gratitude, it brings forth an attitude and mindset of abundance. Instead of focusing on things that you don't have, you focus on what you do have and you're grateful for that. So what is one thing that you can celebrate today from last week that maybe has you feeling inspired, or just has you feeling joy, happiness? Maybe has you feeling relaxed, if that's something that you're looking to do. Drop that in the comments here, and throughout this video you're going to see and hear me asking you to respond in the comments. This way I know that you're actually tuning into these coaching sessions and taking away the information. It's just a way for me to check in with you. Now, the remaining sessions, I will be starting this way as well, asking something that you could celebrate, but it'll be more directed towards your goal. So I will ask you something like, what is something that you can celebrate that has taken you one step closer towards achieving your goal of this program? So just so you have that in mind, and you can start paying attention to those things that you want to celebrate and share with the group. Now, before we dive in and dig a little bit deeper about goal setting, because that's what this whole session is about. It's about setting yourself up for success, and one of those key ways to setting yourself up for success is having a goal in mind, because when you don't have a goal in mind, you don't really have anything that you're working towards. So I personally feel that it is imperative to have a goal set in place, and then from there dig a little bit deeper and determine why that's your goal, and set some anchors, which I'll be talking about shortly too. Now, before we really get started here, I'm curious, if you were to just give me the short version, what are a few habits or events that you can attribute to having led you to this phase in your life right now? And you can drop that in the comments. So based on where you're at right now, what are a few of the events or habits that have led you to this point in your health and wellness, in your career, where you're at right now? Feel free, and this is a safe space. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Just share openly what comes to mind. So, if you were to wave a magic wand and all of a sudden arrive 4 weeks from now, so October 6th, what is one thing that you'd love to be experiencing in regards to your health and your wellness? And pop that into the comments too, please. Okay, and the next thing I want to ask you is, what feels important about that being the first goal on this journey for you? And you'll notice, if you watched the video yesterday, I did talk about that welcome kit that I sent you. One of the pieces in there was a goal setting sheet. It had health and wellness goals and it had life goals. I think there were 3 health and wellness goals and then 5 life goals that have to do with the 5 big areas of your life. I want you to do that. I want you to write all of those down just to get you thinking and have an idea of where you see your life, where you want to go. But from there, I want you to narrow it down. I want you to pick one to zoom in on. So this one will probably pertain to how you answered that first question of, if you were to wave a magic wand and all of a sudden arrive at the end of this program, What is one thing you'd like to be experiencing? And then, as I said, what feels important about that being the first goal on this journey for you? And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's not an A, B, C kind of test. It's not even a test. It's just what feels most important about that being your first goal. Everybody is different. Everybody's unique. Everybody's may have a different type of goal, and that's okay. So go ahead and share what feels important about that being your first goal. Now, from there, I want you to imagine if you were to achieve that goal. And there's a couple of guidelines in regards to your goal. And I'll talk about that in a minute. What possibilities could open up for you? What new opportunities would you be able to be a part of that maybe at this time, at this state of your health and wellness, your being, where you are right now, you're not able to do? What new things would you be able to experience? What new opportunities would be there for you? Now, when you're stating and creating your goal, and I wanted to take you through that little exercise so you could really dig in and see the feelings that you might be feeling, what you want to be experiencing, and why that is important to you. When you create a goal, it's important that you have a specific goal, because if you're just to say, I want to lose weight, well, how much weight do you want to lose? What does that look like? What does that feel like for you? What is losing weight going to do for you in the end? You want to make sure that it's achievable. You don't want to make it too easy that it's not a challenge for you, because it's important to challenge ourselves. But you want to be realistic about it too. You want to make it a little bit of a challenge. So you have 4 weeks. What is a goal based on your magic wand, what you'd like to be experiencing? What is a goal that is specific, that's measurable, that's achievable? So I want you to think of it that way. And I want it to be stated in the positive light. It's important to rewire our brains again to see positive things instead of focusing on the negative ones. So a negative one would be like, I don't want to weigh X anymore. Instead say, I would like to lose blank amount of pounds because blah, 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 blah. I would like to be able to exercise for 20 minutes per day because blah, 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 blah. And the exercise one in my mind is going with energy, because a lot of times people don't have enough energy to exercise. So get creative, think about your goal, and drop that in the comments so I can see what you're working towards. And if I notice that it might not be specific enough, or we're not going to really be able to measure it, and maybe it's a little bit too much of a stretch, we'll talk about that together, and we'll rework it so that it fits into what you want to achieve and still be achievable, if that makes sense. Now, I want to dig a little bit deeper. So once you have decided on your goal, and the other important piece with goal setting is you have to write it down everywhere, all over the place. Write it down. And I want you to write it down as if you're already experiencing it. And the reason that I say that is because when you write it down as if you're already experiencing it and you repeat it and maybe you write it down again and again and again, it rewires your brain to make conscious decisions, conscious actions, conscious choices that are going to live into that version of you. So if there's a certain number that you want to weigh, that's totally fine. I'm not big on specific numbers on a scale, but if that's how you want to measure your progress, and if that's the best way for you right now, then do that. So you can write something like, I weigh blank pounds, and you're writing it down as if you weigh that amount of pounds, and you can write it all over the place, and you're going to make decisions that are going to lead you to be able to weigh that amount. And I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of people that have done this, and I do this myself, and it works. So you just have to kind of believe and you will succeed, and believe and you will achieve. So yeah, write down your goals. And the reason that it's important to write down your goals, I'm actually reading this book, Your Best Year Ever, and it's probably going to be backwards by Michael Hyatt. I'm not done with it yet, but it's very interesting about all these different ways that you can create your best year ever. And one of the things is the importance of writing down goals. So when you write down goals, it forces you to clarify what you want. So you have a clear picture, a clear understanding of what you want. The second reason is it helps you overcome some resistance. The third reason, it motivates you to take action. The fourth is it filters other opportunities out. So the more successful that you become, the more opportunities that will come forth to you, and you're going to need to be able to say no, and you're going to need to be able to know when opportunities arise if they're going to help you move towards your goal. And that's important because you don't want to be saying yes to everything, because then you're overcommitting yourself. And the fifth reason you want to write down your goal is because it enables you to see and celebrate your progress throughout the way, because you know what you're working towards. So I want to have you write down your goals, and I want you to share it with me too. Now, once you have decided what you really, really want, and I'm not going to break out into Spice Girls song right now. I could, but I won't. Let's dig a little bit deeper and discover your motivating factor, your why beneath your why, the thing that's going to drive you and keep you going when challenges inevitably arise. So I want you to say, so what you want is blank. So maybe what you want is to lose 10 pounds. What will losing 10 pounds do for you? What you want is to exercise consistently for 20 minutes every day. What will exercising consistently for 20 minutes every day do for you? So what you want is fill in the blank, and what will having fill in the blank do for you, if that makes sense. And go ahead and pop that in the comments too. Now, I just want you to take a deep breath and just imagine that you already have achieved. Maybe it's your weight loss. Maybe you've lost 10 pounds. You're feeling light, airy, confident, energized. You feel like you can take on the world. You feel like a freaking rock star, okay? Imagine that you're doing that now, and you know the right foods to fuel your body with. You have created this new way of eating that works best for you, and continue to do so along the way. Never second guessing your choices, knowing the right thing for your body, and knowing what is going to create and wreak havoc within your body too. Now, fully step into that and turn the dial up just a little bit more so you can experience it even more vividly. And just take another deep breath in, really soaking in all the different sensations. And what I want you to do is ask yourself, what feels possible for you from this place? So once you've set out and you have achieved what you wanted to achieve in this program, what possibilities arise for you? What opportunities do you see possible because you've achieved that goal that you weren't able to do now? And I invite you to pop that into the comments too. Okay, now that you have your why, and you want it to be a strong why, like, why are you doing this program? Why did you invest in this? Why do you want to lose that weight? Why do you want to have more energy? Have a strong why. If it's not strong enough, it's not going to keep you going. It's just going to be plain and simple there. It has to be something powerful enough when those temptations, when those cravings, when those challenges arise, because they will. Getting healthy, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, being the best version of you, it takes work. It's pretty simple. It is pretty simple once you get into it, but it takes work. So you need to have that underlying reason why, that strong motivating factor to get you through those hard times. Now, I would love to introduce you to one of my favorite tools that helps you continue moving forward when you hit a bump in the road. This is what I like to call an anchor. So just like an anchor on a boat, it's something in your physical environment that is going to remind you of your why, your motivating factor. So what you want to do is we're going to go through your 5 senses, And I want you to discover which anchors will serve to elicit a positive feeling of the vision you're working towards. This way, you'll have an anchor for all 5 of your senses instead of tons of sticky notes, which there's nothing wrong with sticky notes posted around your house. I love to have them on my mirrors. But let's start with your sense of sight. So what is something that you see on a consistent basis that is going to remind you of your why beneath your why, your motivating factor that elicits positive feelings? That when a challenge arises, you can pull this out and you can look at it and say, okay, I'm doing this because XYZ. Now that you have your sight down, and feel free to pause the video whenever you need to. If I'm going too fast, rewatch it. That's what's great about this, is you can rewind, fast forward, pause, stop, go back whenever you need to. The next one we'll do is hearing. So maybe a song, maybe a certain sound you hear that elicits positive feelings and is going to remind you of your why beneath your why. And you can kind of get where we're going with this. So we're going to do sight, hearing, smell. So what's a smell that elicits a positive feeling? Will remind you of why you're doing this. A pleasurable taste and a touch. Okay, so touch seems to be the one that is most difficult for people to come up with. My touch is spinning my wedding and my engagement ring because it reminds me of my family and why I'm doing this. So that's just an idea. So go ahead and write those 5 anchors down just as you wrote down your goal, because you need to know what they are. And I'll talk about action steps soon, but I'm going to say it now in case I do forget. One of your action steps will be to gather all of these things, all of your anchors, and give them meaning. And what I mean by that is really take a look at them, listen to them, and remind yourself, okay, say my ring, twirling it on my finger is going to remind me of why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm on this health and wellness journey, why I want to do X, Y, or Z. Whatever you're looking to achieve, you want to give those anchors that meaning. And if that doesn't make sense, if you're struggling to figure out some of your anchors, please let me know, comment on this video, or just reach out to me, and I would be happy to help you go through this process and figure out what is going to work for you and your unique body and lifestyle to help you meet your goal. Now, the next thing is a little exercise that is going to help you be extremely successful during the reset portion of this program. And this whole week is focused on setting yourself and your environment up for success. So setting your goals, setting your intentions, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, and having those anchors are really going to help you be successful. Another key piece is clearing that clutter out of your environment so it's not hanging over you, looming over you, and causing constant stress. Even if you don't realize it is always in the back of your mind when there's clutter all over the place. So I want to ask you, is there any clutter in your schedule or your environment that needs clearing before you can move forward? Now, with your schedule, next week and towards the end of this week, preparing foods, meal planning, meal prepping does take a little extra time. And you want to be doing those things. When you don't meal plan, meal prep, grocery shop in advance, that's when havoc arises. You need to be successful. In order to be successful, you need to have a plan in place. And this is something that's proven, especially when you're eating a new way, especially when you're going through a reset, to make everything as simple and easy as possible. So what I invite you to do is schedule time. Take a look at your schedule. If there's things that you can remove them. Because you want to be able to block some chunks off, some time off to go grocery shopping, to meal plan, to meal prep. So you have things ready to go, easily on hand. Pull, take, not even have to think about driving through a drive-through, picking up fast food, any of that thing you want to eliminate. And you want to be scheduling. So after you clear some of that clutter from your schedule, make sure you have time for self-care. because next week you are going to be a little bit more tired than usual, and that's normal. The first few days you're going through a reset. Your body is working in overtime to remove the toxins from your body, clear it all out. If you're not having caffeine and your body's used to caffeine, it's going to be a big change. I'm just going to let you know that. By midweek, you should be feeling better though. And if you're not, please reach out to me and we can talk through it and maybe figure out why you're experiencing some of the symptoms that you are. And that's why I invite you this week to really start weaning off of those foods and off of the caffeine if you're on that consistently. But as I was saying, scheduling self-care is extremely important to being successful in this program too. You need to rest, you need to relax, you need to do things that are going to bring you pleasure. If you don't put them in your calendar, what I find is they don't happen. So block out the time, okay? Clear that schedule, make the time for focusing on your meals and your food and focusing on yourself and your self-care. I give you permission to do that. Now you have to give yourself permission to do it. In regards to your environment, take a look around. If your pantry is stockpiled with processed food, I was going to say another word, but I'll say processed food, a lot of processed food with a lot of additives, ingredients, artificial flavorings. If you can, get rid of them. If they're temptations, get rid of them. Again, you need to set yourself up for success, and this is one of those key ways. If you leave temptations in the house, you're more likely to grab for them, or you're going to be constantly thinking about them, knowing where it is, and it's going to drive you crazy. So do yourself a favor and get rid of them. Do your family a favor and not have the crazy nut job in the house looking for like, oh, I know where this is, let me have it. Don't have it in the house. If you have little kids, obviously I know you have to have snacks and stuff for them. Maybe just let your partner know, if you have a partner, that I'm really trying not to eat any of this stuff. If I go for it or if I say I'm going to do it, please hold me accountable and remind me of why I'm doing this. Just having that open way of communication. If your kitchen is a mess, try to organize it, neaten it up so you know where things are. Make some room in the fridge for when you're meal planning or meal prepping. Maybe get rid of, if you have a lot of junk in your kitchen, get rid of some junk. Just get everything nice and pristine and organized and ready to go. The key here, I want you to just focus on, this is one of your action steps, is to pick 3 areas to focus on that feel the easiest to you, okay? And just go ahead, take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm a list of all the things that could possibly get in your way of committing to your goal and to yourself over the next 4 weeks. Once you have that list, which of these are within your control? And go ahead and put a star next to the things that are within your control. If there's more than 2 to 3, just pick 2 to 3 that are in your control. So, I just want to honor you for being here today and taking the time to watch this session. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate you. And I am so grateful to having each and every one of you here and just being a part of this program and allowing me to be a small portion and help in your success to achieving your health and wellness goal. Now, an imperative part of this program and the success that happens here is the willingness to just be honest, even when it feels uncomfortable. And if you ever feel a lot of resistance coming up in any of these sessions together or throughout the program, please just let me know so that we can honor that. Part of my job as your coach is to stretch you, which often brings up a level of resistance. But I love knowing when this is present for you so that we can work through these moments and unpack maybe why that's coming up. So the last thing that I want to do today is give you some action steps. We talked about them a little bit throughout the session. You will get action steps every week that I expect you to follow through with, and I will be checking in at the beginning of each of these sessions to see that you are following through. And how I'm going to know that you're following through is your honesty and willingness to comment on these videos. So the first one is to clear the clutter, okay? You picked 2 to 3 things, get going and clear that clutter so you are set up for success come Monday. The second thing is to connect to your anchors. So we want to consistently connect to our anchors. You're going to really want them to mean something to you. So no need to, so sorry, my brain went somewhere else, but you want to make sure that they mean something to you. So you want to practice this week, picking out those anchors and then connecting your why to them, why you're doing this program, why you want to achieve your goal, and repeat that over and over again. And just, I know it sounds silly, but like remind yourself of what these anchors are. So when those challenges come up, you have them in the back of your pocket. And, the other thing that I want to invite you to do is I recommend, so I meal plan on Thursdays, but you don't have to do that. I recommend meal planning on, say, Friday or Saturday. And this is one of your action steps too, is to meal plan, grocery shop, and meal prep. Set aside like 1 to 2 hours to do some meal prep. And what meal prep is like cutting up your vegetables so they're ready to be cooked, making a few meals ahead of time so all you have to do is pop them in the microwave, making a big salad that you can take with you for lunch every day, making, I'm trying to think, overnight oats, because you can have the gluten-free overnight oats next week, and those last for 2 to 3 days, so you can just grab them for breakfast. Measuring out carrot sticks, getting the little hummus packs. You can have hummus, you can have guacamole. Having those little single serving packages and taking those with you. And if you need any recommendations on snacks, I do have some suggestions for you that I would love to share with you. If you have any recipes that you're unsure of, reach out to me and I can take a look at them and let you know if they are reset friendly or if you need to make some swaps. If you need anything at all, just let me know. I'm here for you. Either comment on here, email me, text me, write something in the Facebook group. I'm here to support and stretch you and hold you accountable, and cheer you on along the way. So last but not least, and if anything else comes up, I will share it in the group. I'm curious to know what was an aha, an appreciation, or insight that you had about this session. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you again for being here with me and being a part of this program. I will talk to you soon. Bye.